How old am I? Ever wondered what life feels like when years vanish and your only friend is a cactus? Let me tell you, it's weird and a little philosophical. It's a simple question, or at least it seems that way at first glance. But it rises not as a number on a driver's license, but as an endless abyss. How old am I? I ask myself, and somewhere deep inside that question I hear Kierkegaard's voice. Man is a synthesis of the infinite and the finite. And me? I'm the synthesis of forgotten years and an overturned glass. My childhood was a bright emptiness. Until the age of 7, I was almost a saint, drank milk, ate cream of wheat, and built cities out of blocks like a tiny architect of my own universe. And then came the glass of red wine. I was 7. Dad said, "Wine isn't alcohol. It's culture." He handed me a glass, the dark liquid inside shimmering like the blood of time. I took a sip, and time melted away. Since then, I've lived outside of chronology. The years turned into soft clay and drifted off into the twilight, like the melting clocks in a Dali painting. Camus might have said I'm a man of the absurd, laughing on the edge of the abyss. Or maybe I'm just a drunk. What's the difference? My apartment is my personal theater of the absurd. It's always full of people, yet emptiness always wins over the crowd. Sometimes the walls shake with laughter, sometimes they cry with cracks, and sometimes they swim in rivers of spilled wine, flooding the neighbors. Then the whole building becomes a hive, buzzing with complaints. The cop from down the block shows up, brave defender of the law, yawning as he listens to a chorus of angry grandmas. Then he comes in to see me and drinks tea, or maybe something that pretends to be philosophy in a bottle. "Life is cruel," he says, raising his glass. "It's not cruel," I reply. "It's just meaningless." We both take a sip. Camus smiles from the void. When the cop leaves, it's just me and Charlie. Charlie's my cactus, a prickly philosopher. He stands on the windowsill, silent as Socrates before the hemlock. His spines are like clock hands, frozen at midnight. When guests try to pour something into him, something outside the rulebook, Charlie protests silently, yet fiercely. I understand him. Everyone needs a sacred boundary. The world grows more fragile every day. Sometimes I wonder, maybe I'm not a man anymore. Maybe I'm just an idea. Maybe I'm an archaeological artifact, covered in the dust of oblivion. On my walls are old-growth marks, carved long ago. But the dates have faded, like memory fades. Now they're just cave drawings of my existence. Sometimes I stare at the window. It's my portal. Through it, you can throw out trash, or throw yourself out. Beyond it, there's light. And on the windowsill stands Charlie, my guardian. Proof that the world is real, as long as it pricks. Next door lives an old lady. She's probably 150, deaf as eternity, but alive as life itself. Her TV screams as if trying to outshout death. When I knock, she knocks back, not out of anger, but to say, "I'm still here." And in that knocking is the purest manifesto of human will. And me? I'm still asking, how old am I? It's not a question for me anymore. It's a question for metaphysics. If Kierkegaard called despair the sickness unto death, then what's my illness? A sickness unto time? Or its absence? Sometimes I remember how Hare Krishna devotees once tried to kidnap me. They wore bright orange robes, shaved heads shining in the sun, singing and dancing like flames. I almost went with them. Thought, maybe they have answers. Maybe they have a calendar. But an hour later, I was back home. Charlie stared at me judgmentally, like stoicism glaring at Epicureanism. In time it flowed on. Flowed like red wine in a glass, like sand in your hands, like thoughts in your head. Sometimes I wonder, what if I'm already retired and nobody's paying me? What if I'm the oldest living human on the planet, and I'm supposed to be in the Guinness World Records? I'd like a grant. In dollars. Enough to buy a light bulb. The bathroom's been in darkness for 2 weeks now. And well, Let's just say my aim isn't perfect anymore. There's something cosmic about that. Darkness in the bathroom, like a metaphor for the soul. Today, nobody came. Tomorrow, maybe no one will either. One day, I'll be gone. Charlie will remain, the last philosopher. The apartment will belong to someone else. And me? I'll finally reach eternity. And on my grave they'll write, 41. Just 41. The man who never knew his own age.